Hello and welcome to ReelQuick 112. I'm here with my gorgeous co-host, as always, Cameron and Tyler. Sadly, George isn't with us today. He's actually busy, but today we're actually going to be reviewing The Conjuring, the first one that's recommended to us by one of our great patrons, Stefan Johnson. This is the first watch for Tyler, a rewatch for Cam, certainly a rewatch for me. I've watched it many, many times. I think, Cam, you've watched it a few times as well, if I'm not mistaken.
I've seen it like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah. And before we get into it, obviously important to mention, check out our Patreon below for many benefits. If you want to recommend us rankings, games, movies, whatever you want to recommend us, it's all there below. And also thanks for the support on Spotify and YouTube. Before we get into it, I am very intrigued to hear Tyler's thoughts specifically, because I regard this as being one of the scariest films, maybe ever, in my opinion. I'll just run through the synopsis because it's a very famous film. Spoilers are going to be hard to touch on because it's one of the most famous horrors of the 2010s, definitely. So paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren work to help a family terrorized by a dark presence in their farmhouse. Forced to confront a powerful entity, the Warrens find themselves caught in the most terrifying case of their lives. Directed by James Wan, obviously one of the most reputable horror directors of the 2010s and before. I'll let Tyler go first because I'm intrigued to hear his thoughts. Tyler, if you want to give your spoiler-free, but it's tough with spoilers. It's The Conjuring, you know what I mean? But you want to go ahead and give your initial thoughts anyway.
Yeah, I didn't realize this was like a true story in terms of like the Ed and Lorraine Warren are like real paranormal investigators. They have like a museum in Connecticut, I think. They have like a museum of all their, because you kind of see at the very end of this, which like isn't spoiler, they kind of keep a keepsake from each investigation they do. And I believe you can kind of go see all those in a museum in Connecticut, which I don't know. I'm not even like a big spiritual guy, but not trying to go into that building with a bunch of possessed things. Like, and even though I don't really believe in the kind of stuff, it's like, I'm still not going to give it a try. I'm not going to go in there. Kind of interesting. Like, I wonder how much business they actually do get, because I feel like a lot of people are in that same boat where they're like, hell no, I'm not going in there. But obviously there's
quite a lot, I would say.
Yeah, there's a lot of like cult like following people who would like definitely want it. But like this was definitely the scariest movie I've ever seen, and I know my horror bag isn't that deep. But like
it doesn't matter. My horror bag's very deep, and this is one of the scariest films I've seen.
Yeah, for sure.
I do consider it to be that scary. Definitely.
Yeah, like just terrifying. There's at least 2 segments of this movie, like from like minute like 40 to 50 or something, and then like the final like 15 minutes where like there's just 2 at least big chunks I can remember where like it's just like 10 to 15 minutes straight of like scare, and they're not cheap scares, but it's like it just all of a sudden it's just you realize you're buckled into like an unrelenting scene where it's just going to be nonstop terrifying suspense, dread, jump scares, creepiness, like, and it just doesn't let you go. And then finally give you some reprieve. You're like, holy shit, that was like 15 minutes straight of just like being on the edge of my seat, like poop my pants. But yeah, I feel like, and again, my horror bag isn't deep, but in terms of like doing a movie like this, if you want to make a movie of paranormal investigators going to a paranormal house that's demented, I feel like it's like about as good as you can get. Like, I feel like there's nothing, like so many cool practical effects, so many cool camera shots and camera work that's done by James Wan and crew. I thought was awesome. You got a great cast. Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga are great. And then also you had like the family itself, Mackenzie Foy, Ron Livingston, they're great. Joey King's in this for like 30 seconds. So I don't really remember, like she's just kind of like there. But weird. She was just like in everything when she was a kid, I swear. Like her agent was working overtime. But this movie was terrifying. It's suspenseful, which like there are quite a few jump scares that like are pretty effective. I don't think any of them are really cheap, but beyond just the jump scares though, like the suspense and dread this movie builds it just didn't stop. Like I was like, damn, this is so tense the entire time. The first hour, this is just straight up terrifying for the entire time. And then Ed and Lorraine show up and do their business and still get some just like crazy imagery. But obviously there's like 2 massive jump scares I think are the most popular ones that happen in the first hour. And those are just crazy. Like and unlike It Follows, I wasn't like spoiled to them. So those were crazy.
That's weird because I posted a video like a few weeks ago of the Conjuring jump scare, my favorite one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like if I'm not a fan of jump scares and scary stuff, so someone posts a video like, here's my favorite jump scare ever, I'm probably not going to watch it. But yeah, that's kind of all for quick thoughts. I'm between a 4 and 4.5 right now. I'll probably put it at 4 just because this isn't my style of movie. Like I'm not like a big like horror fan, but It might honestly be 4.5. We'll see when this drops on Friday, like when we drop this review and I officially like update my Letterboxd rankings to show what my review would be. We'll see what mood I'm in that day. But I don't really know if I could think of any ways I wish they did this better. I feel like everything they're trying to do is crazy. Like the freaking mirror she kept holding up and looking behind her. So many moments where I'm just holding my breath, like, God damn it, just stop looking in this thing, man. But James Wan, definition of cooked.
Yeah, definitely. Cam?
Yeah, I like this one a lot. 81 out of 100 for myself. Emma and I watch it fairly often, maybe once a year thing. I said we watched The Conjuring 3 the other day. This one I think's the best. I like 1 and 2 a good amount, and then Conjuring 3 I think kind of stinks. But yeah, I think this is like the best. Like you said, I don't know how much better it can get. It scares the shit out of me. I don't like watching it, but like I think it's the best scary thing that I've enjoyed. I don't know how to describe it. Like it's something I'd go back to, even though I hate watching it because it's terrifying. Also, I'm looking at the Wikipedia, episode 112, real quick. Episode 112, the runtime of this movie, 112 minutes. So that's good fun.
Wow.
Yeah, I think Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson are just awesome in this. Love them as Ed and Lorraine, and I think they're great in this and all three of them. I don't know what all to talk, not outside of like spoilers. And
you can touch on spoilers if you want. Like it does. We can have like doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it doesn't fully matter. It's an old movie.
Most people have seen The Conjuring at this stage. Like,
I haven't seen any of the Annabelles, but this opens up with the Annabelle. I feel like you see her in every single Conjuring movie. I don't know if they're great.
No.
But what is it? The Perron family. They buy this house basically and then learn that this house was like a vessel for a satanic woman who like murdered her 1-year-old child. Fucked up. I don't think there are. I don't fuck with this kind of stuff. So I'm not going to this museum of theirs. I'm not attending that in any way. And watching this just always makes me feel like yuck. Like I don't that shit's whack. I don't like that. I don't like seeing the possession or anything. And I'm sure in real life it's not like, people floating across the room or whatever it is, but I believe in this shit and I don't want it.
Do you believe in this shit?
Yeah. I mean,
interesting.
Yeah, I believe that. Like exorcisms are real. Like I said, I don't think it's this like played out where they're floating in the room or getting their backs broken or stuff. But yeah, I believe like exorcisms can happen and stuff like that. But I like it a whole lot, and I like the cast. I forget every time that Joey King's in this thing. Like you said,
I forgot. I watched it pretty recently as well.
But yeah, I enjoy it.
I'm like the same as you guys. I think I've watched this so many times, and every time I watch it, I'm surprised at like how efficient it is with the filmmaking. Like it is very stereotypical story, haunted house, possession, whatever. And it's like you kind of expect something different going in, but some of the camera work is really, really good. If James Wan knows his way around the camera, especially when it comes to shooting horror, and it really makes you feel this sense of scarce security, and it's really like a closed space. There are many scenes that actually are really scary. And like Tyler said, like I've seen so many horror films, but I think this is one of the scariest ever, if not the scariest of the 2010s at least. And I think it utilizes it in such a way where it does use the stereotypical, tropes and jump scares, but in a way which is unexpected, in a way that continues to get you. Because I think this has, similar to what Cam was saying, it's like it's got good rewatch value, even though it's a horror, and you expect the jump scares to come, when they come in, they still kind of manage to get you, which is the most impressive thing. I really like the dynamic between Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson. I think they're both great. I think they work really, really well in the film. And I think that it just has this eerie presence the entire time. It doesn't, when it does showcase the scary sequences, it doesn't really pull any punches. Like Tyler said, it really pushes you right into it with the specific scenes that we obviously like to speak about. Like, I'll ask you in a second, Tyler, but I do think some of the jump scares, every time I watch it, they're fucking terrifying. Like two in particular, really, really scary. Obviously, we'll touch on spoilers.
We're spoilers already. Just
whatever. So, I was going to ask you, Tyler, which scene scared you the most? Because I know for me, it's the
clap. I feel like that's the most iconic.
It's so simple.
The clap hits that shit.
It's so simple and so stupid, and like it's the way. Like obviously, she kind of falls down the stairs. She hears noises. She falls down the stairs in the basement. Walking up, she kind of like has the candle lit up, whatever, and it just comes out of nowhere. It's not like hand, just like a simple clap. That's it. Like that's definitely the scariest bit for me. What's the scariest for you?
Yeah, it's like that was definitely the one that got me a ton. And then I think like only like 2 minutes after that, when like the demon is like on top of like the wardrobe or whatever. But that's like what I was talking about. Like that was one of the scenes where it's just like you buckle in, because it starts with like she like hears like the kids playing the clap game. She's like, guys, it's too late for this. Like, go to bed. And she like gets up and walks downstairs. And that's when like you realize like, oh, buckle in. And it was just 10 minutes straight, because then the pictures all fall off the stairs. And that was like a loud jump scare. And then she like goes downstairs and goes down the stairs, and the door slams behind her, and then the candle keeps going out. And I was like, this whole scene, man, I was just holding my breath. And then the clap was just crazy. And then immediately after that, like didn't really get any reprieve, because it goes straight to seeing that freaking woman on top of the closet. And those are probably the most effective scares for me. I think the first hour of this movie was the scariest, but I also hear people say like, oh, the first hour was like the most terrifying for sure. But like, I was still very scared the second half too. And the exorcism scene was just crazy. Like the whole flipping the chair upside down and like slam, like I was like, damn, this production is wild. Like James Wan, like I get why everyone's always like he cooked, because like freaking there's so many moments in this where I was like, this is crazy. And the whole like she was covered by the sheet, but then like the sheet keeps getting ripped away and she's like spitting out blood in her face. It's like, this is crazy right now. But yeah. I'm surprised you revisit this so often. Does Emma just really love this movie, or why do you guys rewatch it?
Emma likes this one a lot. The Conjuring, you're a big fan of it. Yeah. I wouldn't say so often, but I've seen it a good amount, because it's like if you want a horror movie like during spooky season, it's a good one to go to. It never gets old. And I like I said, I really like Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga. But yeah, it's fucked up, man. And the ending scares the shit out of me, just because I don't like that kind of stuff. But I do think the clap is the best jump scare in this movie for sure. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at it because I said I'm on the Wikipedia. I guess Lorraine Warren is in this movie as an uncredited audience member, so that's kind of fun.
Really?
Yeah, I guess she's in it. So.
Oh, I didn't know that. Audience members are probably like at the beginning when they're like giving like a presentation or whatever. She's probably
she might be at the front or something. Yeah, makes sense.
Oh, so they're still alive, I guess. So nothing got them yet.
Yeah, crazy. I don't understand how you do this and like you still live your life.
She passed away in 2019. So rest in peace. Rip in peace.
Yeah. The film itself, like I think this is one of the best put together horror movies. Like the production is fantastic. It's got kind of a big budget for a horror movie. It does have $20 million. And I feel like most horror movies are like 10, maybe
especially in early 2010s as well.
Yeah. And it made $315 million, obviously. Like Jesus. Yeah, had good return on investment, like most horrors do. But I really enjoy it, even though I'm scared of it as hell. But yeah, big fan.
I think the best thing, like it does, if you watch any 2010s possession film, you'll see the same sort of things used in terms of the camera, in terms of the tropes, in terms of the premise, but it utilizes it in such a way that is genuinely scary on multiple watches, which is the most impressive thing. I like how I said, like it just differs itself, and I think James Wan has a really good way behind the camera. I know you touched on your camera, but like the other Conjurings, I'm not huge on. I think the second is good, because that has James Wan again. I think that's all right. But I think it was the third one that kind of took him back. I'd be keen to see, Tyler, what you think if you continue watching the franchise. Maybe go into the Annabelle's not very good.
So the second one's the one where the nun comes, right?
Yeah.
The second one, so that was based in London in like when does it count? Like 40s, 50s?
I forget what time frame, but it is in
London. Urban London, like around like the Second World War period, I believe. That's still James Wan that's interested. It's still scary, but there are some weird moments, like some quite funny moments.
I think it's only scary if you're afraid of the nun, which I am. Like,
true.
I think that's really the only opportunity for it to be truly terrifying, and that's what terrifies me.
But I think that's the last film in the Conjuring franchise that I consider to be like above average.
But all the Annabelles and all the nun movies aren't great.
The first Annabelle was okay, like a 2.5 or a 3, but after that, it's
the first nun movie stinks.
How scary would you compare The Conjuring to Insidious? Because those are both James Wan around the same time period, both big franchises now.
I think Insidious I think Conjuring's scarier by like a good amount. Insidious has a few moments, but I think Insidious doesn't have the rewatch value, and you know exactly where things are coming. But I think The Conjuring continues to get you. I'd say The Conjuring's scarier, definitely. Have you seen Insidious, Cal? No. Okay.
Yeah,
I think Insidious. I think Conjuring is scary, definitely.
But James Wan, like it's crazy how not only does he make super iconic horror movies, but all of them become massive franchises. Like Saw, Insidious, Conjuring. I'm sure I'm probably forgetting one.
He's got the juice, man. He's got the horror juice.
Yeah,
He knows
he
what he's
really
doing.
does, and like he makes money clearly, and they just keep coming back. But Patrick Wilson was just so good in this. I love Vera Farmiga as well.
They have a really good chemistry on screen. They're both great.
One of the
really
this is also one of those movies I think like the classic movie posters, like the best one too. Just the hanging tree. I just think is such a great movie poster. So ominous. That scene too is just like just so many just subtle ways to creep you out too, where like she just sees the body hanging over her shoulder. Just sounds like an awful life to be like a clairvoyant like her who can feel everything so strongly, and then you kind of see that one guy from whatever like a couple of years ago that really stuck with her in her mind, and it does not look like fun life. And then I was like saw like in real life Ed Lorraine had like a ton of heart attacks throughout his life, and it's like, well, no shit, you're doing a line of work that's probably going to cause a lot.
They go into that in the third one.
Yeah, they do. Put him in a wheelchair or something, or
not that far, but yes, he does have heart attack in the third.
Yeah, they do go into that sort of thing. Yeah, definitely.
Like, I feel like if you have one heart attack in that line of work, I'd be like, yeah, probably gonna hang up the boots, put my jersey in the rafters in the Paranormal Hall of Fame. But I don't need any more of this. But yeah, The Conjuring scared the shit out of me, and I was watching it, like during the day with lights on, and it was still terrifying. So not fun.
You watched it with the lights on, fuck's sake.
Well, like it was not like lights, but like during the day, where like just like there's natural light in the room, like it's not dark, Yeah, because it was like I don't know. I watched it like noon yesterday, so it's just like even with the blind shut, you're still not like pitch black in your house like it would be at night. Yeah,
I applaud you for watching. It's a scary movie.
Yeah, it is scary. Fun time though. Fun time. Definitely had my heart rate elevated, like from the opening second with the freaking Annabelle doll to the final moment where you see their kind of room of trinkets and you look in the mirror reflection for freaking 30 seconds again. It's just, God, they just kept focusing on that damn thing. What was the name of that guy that kept being in the background again? Remy or something? Her friend, the boy. Whatever.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
Something like that. But yeah, just so many different creepy things in this movie. And yeah, Ed and Lorraine, you guys are crazy. But now you got good movies, I guess, and okay movies. So is Annabelle based on like also something Ed and Lorraine investigated?
No, I remember because Annabelle was like a while ago. Annabelle's like a different kind of entity. It's surrounding the doll and the possession, but it's quite different. Actually, sorry, the first Annabelle is shit.
But the second one,
the second Annabelle is okay. Second Annabelle is okay. The first one's shit.
James Wan didn't do any of them though, like directing.
No, David Sandberg did the second one. Who did the Shazam films, which is kind of weird.
The Conjuring universe to DC extended universe pipeline is real.
Yeah, but yeah, I watched it. See what you think. But yeah, so The Conjuring, I give a 4. 81,
4 out of 5.
Yep. And Tyler
4 or 4.5, whatever I feel like on Friday, November 24th will be my rating is.
Perfect. So obviously we all really, really liked it. As usual, thank you very much for listening. Again, as I said at the start, feel free to check out the Patreon benefits if you want to recommend us any films like this or drafts or games, whatever. We appreciate you listening, and we will see you on the next one.
Peace.